All right, let's keep things moving here. We're going to go. I like that we went on a nice, deep, cool philosophical sidebar. I'm going to hit a smelling salt and let's
hack ourselves.
Let's hack back in. Oh God, we need to make a smelling salt alarm clock that just wakes you up out of bed.
Smelling salt.
Yeah, smelling salt. Silk, let's fire up heater clips. This is the tube edition. As you guys have seen, it's been taking the internet by storm. There's a new phenomenon where people are basically doing like medium park jumps and landing on a down tube, which I am highly entertained about. It's kind of polarizing. We're going to call Stan in a little bit and talk about it. Before we do, let's rip through a couple clips. I really like this Oyvind. He does a switchback rodeo Japan, switch front board 270 out. You guys have any thoughts on these maneuvers going down? It's psycho.
Yeah. So
that Oyvind clip banged me over the head. There's I'm not entirely sure how to say his name. I think it's Norwegian. Kristen Jomming's been going crazy on the tubes. He does this like cab 450 tail grab, cork to regular front board and brings it back.
Insane.
Like, how cool was that?
That's insane.
That was perfect.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
My question
The
is,
stee on the board is
do you
really
think
dope.
that this type of feature is going to be like in the big competitions?
I think they're going to bring it to the X Games.
Like
Yeah, in
Olympics,
slope.
maybe?
Yeah.
I think it could be its own event.
Yeah,
If
for
they
sure.
just had like, this was the Tube Chucker Invitational 5,000.
Yep.
I mean, they put Knuckle Huck in there. Anything's possible.
Yep.
So technically, that's a cab 650, 630?
Cab 5
630?
overturned, yeah. So that would be a cab 630 tail grab front board back to regs.
Absolutely perfect.
Board control.
Wow.
He also has another one where he goes 50-50 underflip 5 to switch 50. Have you guys seen this one?
Nope.
Unreal.
Wow.
That's
I don't know if I
insane.
saw this.
Unreal.
Very clean.
Yeah.
Really clean.
So, one thing to mention about this, it is kind of an evolution of park building. You know, you think back to the early 2000s, how much parks have evolved to now they're building it where it's more of a touchdown landing. A lot of people not fans of the Tubezilla happening. And then the one that I thought was absolutely psycho, Lion Farrell, it's a little older. He does a back 10 to 50-50.
I saw this one.
Front one out. Mikey, hypothetically, let's just say what year did you get? What was your first video part? What year was that?
Probably 96 or 7.
In 1996, if somebody was to be like, "Hey, what are you thinking on this?" and somebody was to say back 10 to 50-50, front one out, like what?
I don't know if anybody had even done a back 10.
No, definitely not. Not in 1996.
I like the tail block personally. But
Yeah, the tail block.
Dude, that was beautiful. Like, how did he do that?
It was like
Yeah.
cab
And the
3.
control, the 180 out is really sick. And avoid the skier. Like, not get freaked out by the skier going through the end there. It is amazing.
What do you like? That wasn't even in the realm of possibility.
No, this
right?
was not.
Aside from
Peter
the-
Line, I remember because I was coming on the scene, Peter Line was just exploding, and he was doing 900s. And I remember a lot of the old guard was like, "This dude's a hucker. He's whack. Like, just do a backside 360." And me as an am, I'm like, "No, this is the future. Like, this is what's coming." So I knew this was coming. I didn't know the 180 out or these kind of things onto boxes were coming, but
not a box,
he didn't
it's
plan
tubes.
on the 180. That was just like was happening. You know?
Yeah.
Well, back 10-50, it was already done. That was
Yeah.
the ABD. So I feel like he had.
But he might have gone back 180 if he was a little more on top
True,
of it.
yeah.
You know?
I mean, you might have to call him on that one.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get to the
Did we
bottom
got
of that.
the,
I don't have
uh,
Ryan's number,
we
unfortunately.
got the Mia Brooks one.
we
I love
already
that one.
we already talked about
It's
that
so
in the
sick.
previous episode. That's probably my favorite one. Do we have any
God.
more clips, Silk? Is that all of them?
Oh, this
This is
insane.
another.
This is insane.
Okay, the last clip we have on heater clips is Kaito Jingjui. I'm sorry if I didn't nail that pronunciation, but he's doing a nollie back rodeo 7 on this
good.
hip, and then he does a
good.
layback, but the entire scene is dirt. Like these guys are, it is so raw to see this late in the season. There's barely any snow that's not just like, it's basically dirt on top of snow, and they're just getting after it.
Yep.
Same goes for what's his name? Who else has been doing that a bunch?
I've seen Pink Clown out there. I've seen a bunch of the other guys.
Ryboot.
Ryboot.
Not Reno.
Ryo?
Yo, yeah, right.
Yo, yeah. Yo's been getting after
I
it.
saw Kazu was out there in the dirt.
with the cherry blossoms.
Yeah, so cool.
Amazing.
I wonder what kind of wax they're using.
I don't know. Let's find out.
Yeah, definitely due for a
So
base
sick.
clean on that.
Yeah.
All right, folks, we got a big call here. We're going to catch up with Stan Levielle, actually, Stan Levielle, not Laval. Stanley Steamer, how we doing, brother?
Oh, incredible. Glad to be on the podcast. Love chatting. You got an all-star panel here. And yeah, as I was saying, if there is any inside jokes already happening, I would be like, I'd love to know. I'd love to get in on that as soon as possible. So,
You know, there's not a whole lot to fill you in on, but I think you have some stuff to weigh in on. We just reviewed heater clips, a lot of the hot action going on, what we would call a medium jump to down tube. I know you covered it on Last Resort. Great work on the latest Last Resort. Do you have any thoughts on this phenomenon, the medium jump to down tube?
I think it's really important that you point out that it is, in fact, a medium jump. Here's the tough part. As many of my listeners will know, I'm a cynical guy. I'm quick to jump to cynicism. So of course, when I started to see this onslaught, if you will, surrounding Swatch 9s of the down tube clip, my first instinct was to say, I don't like this. But, upon a little bit of self-reflection and a little bit of, internal looking inside, this is just park progression that's happening right now. We often get up in arms about the spin's going too big. Is 2340 too much? And like the answer is kind of like, well, now people are going to do 900s onto rails. But I will say the tube being so close to the ground is kind of maybe what I have a problem with here. If we go real semantics, like if that tube was not really in the ground and it was maybe even 3 feet off the ground, I might be kind of more into it. But it like blends into this, like, are they landing on a metal landing? Because that's what it feels like.
That's a great take.
But it's almost like you're leaving no room for like progression. You're just like, I immediately want them to do the hardest thing possible without even testing the waters.
Yes, I know. Well, the progression happened very fast.
Should we maybe take a note to our forefathers that really kind of broke this out?
Yeah. I think that, most would credit, and I'm sure someone actually could come on and just jump all over me and said it happened way earlier. But I would say, like, we really saw, at least in this iteration, it was Mons Roysland and it was Fridge like a year ago, maybe in a Norway park. They just started going crazy on like kind of it wasn't even like a curved down tube per se, but like bunch of crazy clips. And then Fridge, of course, was helping design the Swatch 9s course. They put it in there. And then it just felt like as soon as one person did something, like I don't really remember who did it first. Like maybe LJ did it first, like clipped up on it. And then it just seemed like the floodgates were open. You got Mia Brooks on that thing. You got Tess Cody on that thing. You got Lion Farrell on that thing going front. I think it was front 10 to 50-50. Front one out.
Back 10. Yes.
Back 10. Okay. My apologies, Lion. But yeah, so I don't know. It really did hit the fan fast. And I also think that it all of a sudden made 50-50 front ones acceptable, which, as we know, is like, that's another hot debate. Like, okay, now if you did a 1080 onto a rail, is a 50 front one valid? I don't know.
These are hard hitting. These are hard hitting questions, especially coming out of a.
Yeah, I'm like really terrible to have at a dinner party for this reason.
Yeah, for a second I thought you were really maturing, and then I love to see that we're getting back into the Stan that we know and love.
Yeah. I mean, the problem is, of course, all of it is rooted in this perhaps fear that this is just yet another step in snowboarding that I personally will never be able to achieve. I'm like, oh, great. We're doing 1080s onto rails now. Good. Like, it's like I'm even further away.
I mean, the thing is, do you think that, I mean, you could still get fucking bodied on it, right? Like back 10, you get caught upside down, you're getting destroyed if you land on that on your side.
100%.
Right?
100%. There is consequence. And there is. I guess that's why I brought up the bringing the tube out of the ground a little bit. Because that to me makes it like even more extreme. Because when the tube's on the ground, you can if you like fuck up, like, yes, you can still destroy yourself, but you're going to maybe have the ability to kind of like slide off the side and land on your, I don't know.
So I would love to see back 10 double to 50-50 on a single barrel neck high down tube. Are we going to see that? Like 3-inch round
if Frank Borg does film another Real Snow, I feel like that's possible.
Dude, I love, the thing that's amazing is us as cynical prick snowboarders. Like the reactions, like I've never done a back 10 double cork in my life, not done a single one, right? And then you see somebody do it to 50-50. It's like, it is like absolutely wild that humans are capable of doing this. And snowboarders' reactions are generally like, whack. Like
weird. Yeah. I know, dude. It sucks. It is a lot of haters in the game, and I am guilty sometimes. But I think ultimately, of course, it's worth noting in case this isn't obvious. Like, bottom line, like, yes, still sick. But like, there is room for a conversation about where and why it feels intense is what it feels. It feels very, I don't want to say jockey, but a little.
It's alpha vibes for sure. Let's go through, the tube highlights. Like for me, my favorite thing I've seen coming out of the Tubezilla phenomenon, I'd say Mia Brooks Cab 9 nose to 50. That one's a classic. Do you have a favorite, Stan?
God. I don't.
Okay. I like it. I like the honesty.
Good answer.
Actually what I will say that tripped me out the most, Lions 10, and then at the end of the clip, he goes up and does like cab 3 tail press. Woo! Or like cab 3 kind of tail block. And it was like so buttery, like in the end of that clip. And I was kind of like, damn, everyone's here for the 1080, but can we talk about that tail block that just fucking happened? So that might be my favorite clip just for that sneaker trick at the end there.
I think to see the evolution of this, if this was its own event, imagine it's kind of like an X Games Big Air type of vibe. You take all these juggernauts, you create the jump to rail tube situation, and you just saddle up and watch them chuck. I think that would be a fantastic viewer spectator event.
Oh yeah, you're talking X Games knuckle rail right now. And I've been saying, I got the receipts. I've been saying on Last Resort, X Games is waiting to put a rail on that fucking knuckle. This could be it.
100%.
Well said.